Hi, thanks for tuning in to our Vertical Features series. In this segment, we're going to cover basic pillar construction. A pillar is a great unit to have, a great item to have in your arsenal as a contractor. It adds great value to the homeowner, whether it's a decorative piece like you see here holding up a potted plant, or if you're using it to add some value on your end with maybe some lighting through it, put a little lantern on top, or a gas line that comes out into a vertical fire feature, right? So it gives you some flexibility there on the end side. Like I mentioned earlier, it is a little bit of a easy construction item to do, so it's great to have on your job sites, but it also sometimes will act as a focal point or a structural piece as well as an anchor point. So again, we'll kind of start with the basics here, and what you'll see down is my universal base unit down in a circular fashion here. It'll give me basically a front to back 33-inch dimension, and then side to side, again, about a 33. So I'm at a nice 33 by 33, which is more than enough to handle the units here, the Brussels dimensional, which are going to be 4 inches tall, 12 inches long, and then 8 inches wide. Gives me great room both on the inside and the outside. The reason for the base plates is very simple. There's a lot of weight coming down in a small area. We got about 1,000 pounds of weight per pillar going straight down into the your subgrade. And so what we want to do here is deflect some of that weight. And so by doing that, we're taking away usually what would be a concrete pour, and we're adding some really easy base plates here to disperse that weight. So that's what you see here. The other thing you'll see is that I already marked my lines here to square me up once I start laying my Brussels dimensional units. I'm going to glue every single one, starting with my base unit into my first course. Make sure that's a really good contact with adhesive. And then I'm going to start basically assembling my pillar like you see here. So I'll use them as a guide, and you'll see here I have the first two pieces down, and just easily I can take each unit and basically start construction. And I'll use those lines that are pre-marked as my guides. Give it a little tap if you're out of line there, and then continue with that process. Make sure you're lined up here as long as your sideline. The other thing I'm doing here is I'm making sure that I'm crossing these joint lines that you see here. You want to have this material crossing both here on your base plates, but also more importantly, when you're constructing your actual pillar. And so you'll see that my next row on top of this one is going to crisscross these joint lines that you see here. Before we move on, really important to make sure that you use a nice concrete adhesive. A little bit different that you'll notice here than a typical wall build is on a wall build, I'm going to run probably 2/4 inch beads down the middle of my block, set block on top, give it a good slide to get a good coverage on the bottom. On a pillar, I want to add a little bit more, so I'm actually going to go inside, bead around, and then do a nice outside bead as well. What that's going to give me is a good contact top to bottom on that unit. So again, bead around inside, bead around the outside, and then I can start with my units. And again, you'll see that I'm doing that log cabin effect here, making sure I'm nice and plumb on both sides, and then continuing again to break these bonds by going in a log cabin fashion. Make sure I'm plumb front to back, and continue that process basically until your desired height is achieved. Other thing you'll notice is you get a nice area here, like I mentioned earlier, to run conduit to the center all the way up to your pillar cap. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you next time.